love him so. How much we love him so. It's Christmas time again. We have no money to spend. But I thank God to be alive. Raise your hands and say, glory to the King. Glory to the King. Because we want to how much we love him so. How much we love him so. Christmas, Christmas. Christmas, Christmas. Christmas, Christmas. Christmas, Christmas. Christmas, Christmas.
WEFM, the new fresh sound.
What's up? Or call us at 457-9997. Rise and shine. Let's get ready to take on the day. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
Indeed, Christmas in St. Vincent, sweet. It's sweet toy. It's sweet toy. All right. So good morning to SVG. Good morning to those of you in the regional and international diaspora. We are back with you. It's no longer Solita. Solita has company today. All right. So Dianna is back with us this morning. So trust that everybody had a great weekend, a rest-filled weekend. I know that many of you have already started your Christmas cleaning, but I'm hoping that you're not over-exerting, all right? The house going to be there. The house ain't going anywhere, all right? So take your time with whatever it is that you have to do. I think tongue opened yesterday, quote-unquote opened, you know, we always say tongue open in Vinci, all right? So tongue opened yesterday for those of you who are looking to take part in the Sunday shopping.
You went tongue?
No, I stayed home. Listen, I enjoy my weekends where I get to just stay home. Right, yeah, I'm one of those persons. My home is my sanctuary. It is my little bubble. It's my cocoon.
I get
so
you.
I love to stay at home. But I had a productive weekend, so it was yeah. But actually, if I have to do shopping, I would prefer to go in town on a Sunday.
Okay.
To avoid all the hassle in town.
But I think Sundays actually have a lot more. I find from what I see when they have shopping on Sundays, there's actually a lot of people in town.
You see, my whole thing is, are people going into town to Lime or are they actually going to shop? I would be going to shop and not to Lime, right? So certain places like Heritage Square, you won't see me, right? But if it's to go to whatever stores are open, those are the stores that I would go to. I guess the problem might be finding parking, you know, but I ain't going town to Lime, folks. If you see me in town on a Sunday, strictly business, all right? Business. So,
all right.
Dianna, how are you?
I'm all right. I'm all right this morning. Thank you, Joshua. I see you saying something there on the live. Thank you.
Well,
I'm
Joshua
all right.
saying,
He said, welcome back.
Oh, okay. Come and
Oh,
see
look,
me up
Anne
in
just
it.
said, welcome back. Okay, thank you, Anne, as well. It's good to be back. I missed you on Friday. Unfortunately, as we say in Vinci, water was more than flour. Water more than flour. But I'm back like I never left, right?
All right. So sending out the usual greetings to those who generally would call and interact with us, whether it's through the WhatsApp or call directly, or the many silent listeners. And I met one on Friday. So I was like, I went to ECGC because I had to do something. And so this person, she's like, oh, she listens to us all the time and she enjoys the program, etc. And I was like, I'll leave and say, so what's your name? Because you don't want to hear her up and that kind. She said, you don't worry about that. So miss, don't worry about that. Working at ECGC, special good morning to you. All right. So hope that everybody is doing okay. And yeah, we are going to get into our segment today. Anything else you want to touch on before we go in?
No, not exactly. Just my weekend was interesting. I just want to highlight that the Venezuelan Institute had its graduation ceremony on Thursday. I saw 2 past WEFM people there. I don't know if they want to name Carl, talking about the business. I saw Ari and Jessica there, you know.
You don't know if they want the business talking about, but you call their names.
Name just to bake them up now because it's something worth celebrating. You know, they're learning Spanish, so soon they will be able to, you know, speak fluent.
So you were teaching?
No. I graduated from the final level. I was one of the few who graduated from the final level.
Okay. So you speak a lot of Spanish
I took a break. We took a break. It's interesting. It was a bit scary for me because they have 7 levels and I didn't do 1, so I was scared to death. I was like, boy, but you know, it was great. And like many of the other students, we have to say, you know, we're really thankful to the Venezuelan Embassy and Institute for providing free Spanish classes for Vincentian. So whenever you're ready, Roleza, you just go on up and sign up and yay, you're ready to go.
Listen, since I was in secondary school, whenever it is I couldn't remember what that was in Spanish, I added an A or an O to the end of
my goodness,
the
you're
English
one
word.
of those.
I am one of those, right? I will never forget when the Spanish teacher, something we had to say about murder, and I said murdico, and I said it with such confidence, folks. I said it with such confidence, all right? Who was to doubt me that was the Spanish word, all right? Not a soul out there could have doubt that was the Spanish word. I get bad, I know, but it was okay. All right, so yes, folks, go and do the proper thing and go and learn the people language.
Yeah,
go and learn the proper thing. Don't study people like me. I would say whatever, but yeah. But learning Spanish is interesting. I found it exhausting to learn Spanish, to be honest, because it was just, I think that I learned more tenses in Spanish than I did in English, because Spanish has a lot of tenses, and it was just a bit much. But
that's true.
I got you with my, what was it? A grade 2 or grade 3? I can't remember.
Man, you still do good, man. Big up you.
I do good. They don't study me. And my family fool by a little bright sometimes.
Yeah, man. That has happened.
All right. So enough chit chat. Let's get into the meat of our discussion this morning.
Estoy bien, Anne. Estoy bien.
All right. So just to do a little bit of the recap on the weekend, and 2 particular stories that we want to highlight at this time. And why is it that this thing went completely? Lord have mercy. All right. So we recognize that on a Saturday that 3 airlines touched down here in Vinci. And I was trying to pull up the story, but it just completely left me. Just give me a moment, folks.
Okay.
Let's go here. All right. So on a Saturday, there was the landing of the American Airlines 3 planes that landed here in SVG at the Argyle International Airport. And this was actually a historic day for us, given that it was 3 international flights. Now, these flights originated from Florida, North Carolina, and New York. All right. And what it is that it has done is that it has also added to the flight, quote unquote, stock, or the number of flights that are coming here into SVG, making us a lot more accessible for persons within not just the US market, but those who might be using the US as a hub, right? As a transport hub to get to us here in SVG. All right. So we have to extend our commendations to, let me get the other story. So Rochelle Lanza and the pilot. And this is what happened when I pull up.
And then there's
things,
another, the young man, I don't remember his name.
Right.
I think it's Da Silva.
I had it pulled up and then it just went. All right, so let me get the proper names for everybody.
Yes, for
all
2
right.
Vincentian, 2 of our Vincentian pilots. So 2 of our Vincentian pilots. You got it?
All right, so it's Rochelle Roach Lanza and Tevin Da Silva. All right, so they were a part of that, the historic flights in terms of the 3 coming here to SVG. And of course, we're always happy to see this. I know that when the airport was being, even before it started being built, there were many persons who were unsure if St. Vincent and the Grenadines actually needed to have its own international airport, right? And honestly, for me, it was like a chicken and egg situation where unless you attempt it, you would not know, right? And We know that during the COVID pandemic, we saw a decrease in visitor arrivals, etc. So now we are seeing things picking up, and this could only mean additional progress for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, particularly by way of its tourism development. And I also want to emphasize as well our the economic aspect in terms of, let's say, persons who have businesses who wish to be able to get their products and their produce out as quickly as possible without having to go through other hubs. It's also going to be able to boost that economic development, especially for small businesses, because there are going to be those direct flights that are going out. All right. So we want to, we're looking forward to hearing more of this, and not only for persons coming to SVG, but it's also going to make it easier for us to get out, right? And to us to get out in good time without having to deal with the hassle of going through different countries, etc., just to get to where we're going. This is something that we're going to welcome, or we are welcoming.
I kind of like that part. I'm sorry.
Aww.
You know, I'm a weird person, and I accept that I am weird, and that is okay. But I actually like the going through other countries, because then I get to see other.
You serious? Yeah.
Yes.
What about when your baggage is held back and all of that? What about having to be waiting hours for a connecting flight and all of that?
It's cool to hang out in the airport. Listen,
you
walk around the airport. If you have time, just go and take a little look around the country. I like that. I like that kind of adventure.
You must be one of those stranded with a lot of money then.
You don't have to be. If you're alone, I could understand how you would feel. But if you're in good company, listen, you'll find something fun to do.
No, girl. For me, it's like anything. Like when I just ready to go home, I'm ready to go home. Press gas and go. So same with a plane. I just want to get to where it is I'm going as in a shorter time as quickly as possible. Okay. I no. Yeah, Dianna, you must be in the minority with this one. All right. So, anything you wanted to add to that one? All right. So, in other news, unfortunately, so when we have the good news, we also have bad news sometimes happening on the space of 1 weekend. All right. So on the weekend, we note that another gentleman was killed.
Just before you say that, I just want to say, Joshua, I agree with you. I agree with you there with that one. You and I share the same thoughts.
Which is why keep filling.
Sorry. Look, he said, basically that's what we should be expecting.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so in other news, Ronald Milton is the 50th homicide for 2024, and this incident occurred on Friday night. All right, so this incident occurred on Friday night in the community of Murray's Village. So this is unfortunate to see. This person was actually one of the individuals who ran away from an attack that happened earlier in this year, in June, where his legs were actually damaged or injured. And we see now that he has been killed, right? He was shot to death. So unfortunately, our murder count is going up. And, there's a thing that I keep hearing people saying, if we're going to get to the 55 mark. And sometimes when I hear it, I know that persons don't necessarily mean ill intent. Like when you're waiting on jackpot to see who's going to win. Sometimes it comes across like you're just trying to, I'm trying to phrase this correctly, but I'm hoping you're reading my minds well, right? That we are sort of anticipating getting that 55 and over mark. And whenever it is that I see things like this happen, it sort of sets my spirit down again, because I know that some persons are counting upwards, right? As opposed to wanting it to stay where it is. Yeah, just stay where it is, because it can decrease, but to stay where it is. So it's just one of those things that we're tired. You notice that Dianna and I are not even going to make this a full subject of discussion, because it's the 50th one. There's the 50th one, and it's only 50 times we could keep saying the same thing over and over again. All right. Yeah. So unfortunately, it has gotten to a point where the discussion has to come as it being a statistic that we're recording, and not necessarily what has happened, the details in terms of what has happened that has been released in the media. But it's unfortunate that this is happening. I'm hoping that it stays at the 50.
Yeah.
Interestingly, on Friday, I met a guy fresh out of prison. Boy, this man just met me, and he was helping me with my bags. But he was helping me, and he gave me a message. I had on the WEFM shirt, so I guess whatever. But he gave me a message to give to people out there who are looking to involve in criminal activities. Say prison isn't nice, right? He would not advise anybody to go around there. Prison isn't nice. And this was a man who was fresh out of prison, as in released that same morning.
Oh, wow.
That very same morning. Real fresh when I tell you. Fresh, right? So, for those of you who may be thinking that, you're going to do whatever it is, whether it's you're going to commit murder or you are going to be doing burglaries, whatever it is, whatever criminal offense that could land you in prison, message from a person who just came out of prison. Prison isn't nice, and he's advocating that no one go around there.
Pass on this message to the men that you know. And one of the things I think we should do is to change our approach when we are speaking to young men, especially. I don't know, but for some reason, I think that we ought to have to really sit down and try to reach them and try to understand them and try to get what they, I don't know, what it is they want out of life, just so that we could speak to them in the correct way, in a way that when we get up from that conversation, it wouldn't be them just, it gone through one air and come out the next, as we would say, but that they would actually remember that conversation, especially in times when they want to do something bad, that thing that you said to them could hold, they could just hold on to that and keep away from that. Because I don't know, boy, it's rough to continue talking about this and to continue experiencing this, but we have to try in our own homes. That's one of the ways that we could help to walk on this.
All right. And if someone is correcting me, yes, it's not murder. The terminology for me to use or for us to use is homicide. So yes, thank you very much for that correction and for pointing that out. All right. So the time here in SVG, it is 7:35, and we are going to head directly into our traffic talk at this time.